Okay, okay. Okay, Void. I'm having some problems with this one. Not because of the series I'm talking about itself, but because I felt like I reviewed this one already. See, sometimes when I'm not watching, reviewing things right after I watch them, I usually think about them for a while, kind of composing the review in my head. And because I'm not a big note taker, you probably can tell, I just kind of spitball things. Occasionally, while watching a movie that needs notes, I'll take a lot of notes. Otherwise, I'll just kind of know that I'm going to be just more talking generally. And so I'll think about the review, think about what I want to say, and what I'm going to give it. And so some movies or series that I put off reviewing for a while because either I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to say about it, I'll keep doing that in my head for a while. And I did that to the point with this one that I thought I had actually reviewed it. It seems to happen more with anime series than anything else, really. Particularly since I think I watched this one just before I kind of switched my type to just reviewing anything I watched rather than just horror films. So this was around the. So while I had watched this one, I knew I wasn't going to watch it again, so I figured I'd just throw a review up for it. Well, I guess I never threw the review up, and it was to the point where I was searching through my list of movies and series I reviewed. I didn't see it there. I actually went and searched my own channel and did a YouTube search to see if I had done this one. No, I guess I didn't. So, My Bride is a Mermaid, also known as Seto no Hanayome. Alright, so that's a lot of build-up for me to say, it's okay. I mean, it's funny, don't get me wrong. This series can be downright hilarious. But once you get about halfway through, it's still the same joke. So it doesn't have as much of variety. And when they do introduce a new concept, yes, it gets funny. But they will milk a joke for as long as they possibly can. And this would have been perfect as a 13 episode series, but it's spread for 26. So, while the characters are enjoyable, and I did always want to see where it was going, it did feel like we had to tread the same ground repeatedly as mostly them just either someone wants to kill the main character then for daring to get involved with the main girl, or then or we have to duck and cover as someone's about to find out that they're mermaids. Those two notes go the entire way, so it does feel repetitive. Otherwise, there'll be some new character pops up, tries to take the main girl Seto, son Seto's, away from our main character, Nagasumi. But something pops up and it can't happen. I will say, all the characters are interesting and they're very quirky, and I do enjoy seeing these characters. And the concept alone is hilarious. The joke just wears thin after a while. So, I guess I should actually talk about the plot a bit. Nagasumi, make sure. Yeah, Nagasumi. It's, like I said, I thought I reviewed this a long time ago, so this review is almost 6 months overdue. Then Nagasumi is vacationing with his grandparents and almost ends up drowning in the sea. But his life is saved by his son, a mermaid. However, there is a law that if a mermaid is seen by a human, the mermaid has to be executed. Well, the mermaids don't really like that, so then first the mermaids decide maybe we should just kill this guy instead. And then it hits upon later that if he marries into the family, then he's family, and then he doesn't have to die. So they essentially get into an arranged marriage. Now, I should point out that Son is part of the Seto family, which are essentially Yakuza. So yes, this series involves a lot of mermaid gangsters, which is hilarious. And a lot of the best things comes from the concept of having mermaid gangsters. Anyway, so, but he thinks, okay, we got engaged, but I gotta go back home to the city, so he does. And she follows him. She gets transferred to a school. Not only that, a lot of the members of the Seto gang are now have essentially encouraged members of the school staff to leave and are now essentially running things. His homeroom teacher is now the leader of the Seto gang and Sun's father. The gym teacher is Shark Fujishiro. Essentially, all the characters can have a human form, but if they get wet, they turn back to their mermaid form. He's literally just a shark. So, they're all doing their best to blend in, and they're not blending well, but the school itself is so chaotic that no one really seems to notice. And it becomes kind of a slice of life-ish from there, of them trying to blend into the school. Now, then add in other characters like his perverted idiot friend, his childhood friend who has a crush on him that is obsessed with justice and wants to grow up to be a policewoman. Pairing that with Mermaid Yakuza's makes Sun definitely nervous. Another pop star mermaid who comes determined to claim him and Nagasumi for her own, who I should mention her dad is literally the Terminator. And then there's the killer whale character who is a billionaire who lives in a submarine and will literally take that submarine up through the ground, and who's incredibly agoraphobic. There's a lot of comedy to work with here. And every time they introduce a new concept, yeah, it's hilarious. But they keep repeating it, and it eventually just gets a little old. Now, being as into movies as I am, I will say I also enjoyed the fact that every episode title seems to be a movie reference of some sort. But I don't know if that wasn't true for the Japanese version, but you got a chuckle out of me. Anyway, so the series has great characters and a great setup, but it does get repetitive and the jokes do get a little old as it goes along, so I'd give this one 5 MacGuffins. It's not great, but it's a fun diversion. It's worth seeing once, definitely. It's just, for me, I'm going to have to wait long stretches before rewatching this. Like, I first saw the series, let's see, this one aired in 2007, so probably somewhere in the early 2010s is when I first saw this. So it's been like 10 years since I'd seen it again. And I don't know if I'm going to watch it anytime soon again. That said, I do have a soft spot for it. It is an enjoyable series, but one I'm not going to return to too often. I get 5 MacGuffins. It's okay. I was almost giving it 6, but this is a good one. It's definitely better if you watch it in a group, because the comedy definitely carries over a little bit longer, and it's the first time I did it was watching it in a group, and the laughter in it gets infectious. Later watching it with just one other person, it was so fun, but there's not a strong story that carries this by any means. So, which I like a good slice of life one, but this one just was only hitting so many notes for me. Alright. See you later, Void.